A girl peers through binoculars out the window. She just wanted to enjoy the beautiful scenery outside, but instead, she catches a terrifying glimpse of something. When she looks through the binoculars again, the human head she just saw has vanished without a trace. All she can see now is a pile of garbage. The woman assumes she was hallucinating, but soon after, something strange happens again. A stranger wearing a plastic bag over their head has somehow appeared inside her home. A couple wants to celebrate their one-year anniversary, so they plan a getaway to a remote cabin. Even though they've been together for a year, they're still as sweet as when they first started dating. They even hold hands while driving. The day before they leave, Liz chats with her best friend about the trip. Her friend is curious about what she'll wear on vacation. Liz tells her it's a beige sweater. This surprises her friend. Beige is the color Liz hates the most, but the sweater was a gift from her boyfriend. Anything he gives her, she loves. You can tell Liz is deeply in love with her boyfriend. Her friend wishes them a great time and tells Liz to call her if she gets a chance. Soon the couple arrives at the cabin. Liz spots a cake on the table. Her boyfriend Colm thinks the caretaker left it. He says it's a tradition around here, a way of making up for not keeping the place in better shape. Before long, Liz notices another cabin across the way. She curiously asks Colm who lives over there. Colm says it's his cousin, but he assures her his cousin definitely won't bother them. With that, Colm heads off to prepare dinner. Liz draws a heart on the glass window. Then she heads to the bathtub for a nice hot soak. But while she's bathing, something eerie happens on the glass behind her. Liz doesn't notice it, though. Soon it's dinner time. The two enjoy their private little world together. Just as they're about to get intimate, the doorbell suddenly rings at the worst possible moment. Liz instantly loses the mood. Colm hurries to answer the door. It turns out to be his cousin from across the way, and the cousin has brought his date along. Liz is clearly unhappy when she hears this, but since he's Colm's relative, she puts on a polite smile. The cousin, however, makes himself right at home. He starts introducing his date. His tactless manner only irritates Liz even more. The cousin picks up on the awkward atmosphere, so he pulls Colm into another room, leaving the two women staring at each other. To break the uncomfortable silence, Liz takes the initiative to make conversation, but the woman suddenly says something unexpected.
Tastes like shit.
Liz doesn't understand what she means. It seems to be about the cake on the table. While she's still puzzling over it, the cousin comes out of the room. He grabs his date and they quickly leave. Before going, he whispers a few words to Colm.
She's a keeper, cousin. Don't wait too long and let this one get away.
After the cousin and his date are gone, Liz's displeasure is written all over her face. Colm quickly apologizes on his cousin's behalf. He keeps comforting her, hoping she can let go of the unpleasantness. With Colm's sweet talk, Liz is soon appeased. They get ready to enjoy the cake, but it turns out to be chocolate flavored, the flavor Liz hates the most. Colm insists the cake is delicious and asks her to at least try a bite. Not wanting to spoil her boyfriend's mood, Liz reluctantly takes a bite. In the middle of the night, Liz is fast asleep. She dreams of a woman dancing beneath a waterfall. Then a figure appears behind the woman. They point a gun at her head. The next second, Liz jolts awake. Her stomach is growling loudly. Apparently she's been woken up by hunger. She grabs her phone and heads to the kitchen. She stares at the cake. Her mind is completely repulsed by it, but her body moves toward it on its own. She grabs a fistful of cake with her bare hand. Then she starts devouring it ravenously. The moment she swallows, agonizing screams of women flood her mind for no apparent reason. Their faces are covered in blood. The scene shifts to the next day. The cousin's girlfriend is walking alone through the forest. She tries to use her phone to call a ride, but her phone suddenly loses signal. Then she hears a strange sound coming from deep in the forest. Afraid there might be a wild beast, she quickly hides behind a large tree. Colm wakes up from his sleep and finds that Liz is no longer in bed. When he goes out to check on her, he finds her painting. Her behavior seems a bit odd. Colm doesn't think much of it and starts making breakfast. He happens to notice the cake from last night has been completely devoured. He's about to ask Liz about it when a text message arrives on his phone. He has a patient who fell into a drug-induced coma. He's been waiting for someone to tell him the patient has woken up, but Liz is different from her usual self. She doesn't come over to show concern. Instead, she just stays in her seat, continuing to paint. Colm curiously asks what she's drawing, but Liz doesn't answer. She's actually painting the women she saw in her mind last night. Then she asks Colm to take her outside for a walk. She wants to get some fresh air. While out, she happens to find a pendant by the river. She opens it and takes a look, then she brings it back to the cabin. But as soon as they get home, Colm says the hospital has delivered bad news. His patient might not wake up. He has to go back to the hospital to check on things. He'll have to leave Liz here alone. Colm quickly apologizes to her. Liz isn't an unreasonable woman. She tells Colm to hurry back. She'll be fine here on her own. Colm promises he'll be back soon, by 7 o'clock at the latest. Then he quickly drives away. With nothing to do, Liz puts on the sweater Colm gave her. Then she calls her best friend. She complains that there's absolutely no privacy here. The entire house only has a lock on the bathroom door, and the windows don't even have curtains. When her friend learns that Liz's boyfriend left her alone at the cabin, she immediately offers a piece of advice. In situations like this, the guy is probably busy tending to his wife. She bluntly tells Liz that she's just the other woman. This makes Liz angry. She hangs up the phone right away. Then she goes back to observing the cabin across the way. To her horror, she spots a human head among the garbage pile. Liz is scared out of her wits, but she musters the courage to look again. This time, all she sees is a mountain of garbage. Liz figures she probably didn't sleep well, so her eyes are playing tricks on her. She hurries off to take a nap, but when she wakes up, she feels even more exhausted, and somehow her clothes have been put on inside out. She doesn't think much of it, though. She rushes to the kitchen and drinks some tap water, but the instant she turns her head, something terrifying happens. Liz angrily demands to know why this person is in her house, but the stranger says they've been here all along. Before Liz can even react, another identical figure suddenly appears beside the first one. Liz is completely bewildered. In disbelief, she turns to look at the cabin across the way, hoping to get the cousin's help.
You wake the children. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? The distant past.
Liz jolts awake from the nightmare. The dream has left her utterly exhausted. She tries to get up and wash her face to clear her head, but she discovers her pants are wet, and the bed is mysteriously stained with red wine. She hurries down to the basement to find some cleaning supplies. Without realizing it, she leaves her phone down there. Then she scrubs hard at the stain on the sofa. Suddenly, she hears a strange noise at the front door. She rushes over and peeks through the peephole. It's the cousin. She doesn't want to let him in, so she tells him Colm isn't home, but the cousin is incredibly thick-skinned. He says he's brought a nice bottle of wine and asks if he can come in and wait for Colm. Left with no choice, Liz opens the door. Once the cousin is inside, Liz excuses herself to the bathroom. She's furious about the cousin's behavior. She wants to call Colm, but then realizes she left her phone in the basement. Meanwhile, the cousin walks into the kitchen. He picks up a kitchen knife, then he quietly makes his way toward the bathroom. Liz, hiding inside, has no idea what's happening. After a while, she hears the sound of chopping meat, but she doesn't dare go out to look. Outside, a body is slowly being lifted up. Its head is nearly severed from the neck. Clearly, the cousin has met a gruesome end. After what feels like an eternity, the noises finally stop. Liz summons the courage to step out. The cousin is nowhere to be seen. She rushes to the basement and grabs her phone to call Colm, but his phone keeps showing as unreachable. Liz can only leave him a message. Then she suddenly hears a noise coming from outside. She cautiously goes to investigate. In the kitchen, she sees the bottle of wine the cousin brought. She figures he must have already gone back, but the very next second, an eerie sound fills the air. Liz sees something pop out of the sink. She gathers her courage and reaches her hand into the sink. To her shock, she finds the cousin's watch inside. Liz is completely baffled. Why would the cousin put his watch in there? Just then, a shadowy figure passes behind her. When Liz turns around, she sees something horrifying. The next second, the mysterious figure vanishes. In its place is a box with a heart drawn on it. After all these terrifying events, Liz can't stay here any longer. She frantically calls her best friend, begging her to come pick her up. But for some reason, the signal keeps cutting in and out. Her friend can't make out what Liz is saying. Unbeknownst to Liz, a shadowy figure is already standing right behind her.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The call drops because of the bad signal. At that moment, Liz feels a chill run down her spine. but when she turns around, she sees nothing out of the ordinary. Thankfully, Colm returns just then. Liz immediately tells him there's a woman with a plastic bag over her head inside the house. She insists they need to leave right now. Colm doesn't understand what's going on. He was only gone for a little while, and now she's desperate to leave. He tells Liz to calm down, but nothing can shake her determination to go. Colm quickly steps in front of her and blocks her path. He says he still has something he hasn't finished. He asks if they can leave just a little bit later. After Colm's persistent pleading, Liz agrees to his request. But on one condition, they need to check every corner of the house first to make sure no one else is inside. Colm immediately starts searching every nook and cranny, but he doesn't find anyone. Liz finally feels relieved. Colm then brings out a bottle of fine vintage wine. He sincerely apologizes to Liz. He shouldn't have left her here all alone. Then he invites her to share a drink. Liz quickly forgives him. The two of them listen to soft music and sip their wine. All the troubles from earlier are left behind. Liz asks Colm how his patient is doing, but his answer catches her off guard. Colm realizes he's slipped up. He quickly tries to explain. He says the patient has passed away, which is why he came back so early. But Liz has already realized Colm is lying to her. She retreats to the bathroom alone. She thinks maybe her friend was right all along. He probably went back to comfort his wife. Then she picks up a photo from the floor. It turns out to be a family portrait of Colm. At that moment, Colm opens the door and walks in. Liz immediately confronts him with the photo, but Colm says that was a long time ago. Liz can't accept this answer. She decides to leave right now, but Colm desperately tries to make her stay. He asks Liz to come to the living room so they can talk. Liz doesn't refuse. Finally, Colm reveals his true intentions.
You're giving me life.
It turns out the cake was bought by Colm himself. Anyone who takes a bite will become weak and powerless. But for some reason, Liz didn't fall asleep. She even ate the entire cake and had no reaction at all. Colm actually knows there are creatures living inside the house. They usually appear in the form of women. Liz is completely dumbfounded by what Colm is telling her. It all started 200 years ago. Back then, Colm and his cousin were still children. They discovered the mother of the creatures. She looked exactly like Liz. She was dancing in the forest. But this forest was Colm's father's territory. The two boys shot her, but they didn't hit any vital organs. So they brought her back home and locked her in a pigsty. After some time, when the two came back to check on her, the woman had given birth, but they couldn't tell what she had delivered. All they could see was blood smeared everywhere on the walls. Colm quickly raised his gun and aimed at the woman's head. When he saw her eyes turn black, he pulled the trigger without hesitation. Liz begs him to let her go, but Colm tells her another story. A fisherman caught a fish. The fish begged the fisherman for mercy. It promised to grant him 3 wishes if he let it go. But why didn't the fish wish itself off the hook? Or wish for its own freedom? Because it knew it was just a fish after all. Those creatures are like the fish. They can't even imagine being free. But Colm and his cousin possess human consciousness. So they wished upon the creatures and gained immortality. In return, Colm and his cousin regularly feed the creatures. And what do they feed them? Women. Liz finally understands. She's going to become food for those creatures. She tries to use love to change Colm's heart, but it clearly has no effect. Only by sacrificing Liz can Colm live longer. Suddenly, the house begins to shake. Liz tries to escape outside, but the front door won't open. She quickly picks up her phone from the floor, hoping to call the police, but Colm has already destroyed the phone. A creature passes behind her, though Liz doesn't see it. Then she thinks of escaping through the window. She quickly climbs through and reaches the balcony. Below is a raging river. But to get out of here, Liz decides to try anyway. However, she's only halfway down when 3 creatures appear on the rooftop. When she wakes up, Liz is lying in the basement. Meanwhile, Colm places Liz's belongings into a box. Then he puts it in a room filled with many other boxes. Each box represents a woman who was sacrificed. On the other side, Liz leans against the wall. She has no idea what's going to happen next. Fear has consumed her entirely. Her whole body is paralyzed. Then, from the depths of the darkness, a head emerges. With a gentle wave of her hand, the candles light up on their own. Soon after, a figure crawls out from the darkness. Its head is covered with a plastic bag. It slowly crawls up to Liz. Then it removes the plastic bag from its head. The creature before her seems to have multiple faces. It keeps laughing at Liz. It even claims to be Liz's child. Then all the creatures begin stroking Liz's face. They seem to be transferring some kind of energy. Liz starts laughing along with them. Outside, Colm assumes the sounds are Liz's screams. So he turns up the music and quietly waits for the sacrifice to be complete. Late into the night, Colm suddenly wakes up, but he discovers he has aged dramatically. The next second, a creature's head pokes out toward him. By the next morning, Colm's hair has turned completely white. He's hanging upside down from a tree. His eyesight has deteriorated so badly he can barely see. Then a woman in red walks toward him. It's Liz, the very woman who was meant to be sacrificed. Colm begs her to let him down, but Liz walks over holding a cake. She tells him that everything here now belongs to her. From now on, she is the master of this place. She holds the cake up to Colm's mouth. Colm refuses to eat it, but Liz threatens him. If he doesn't eat the cake, she'll stab this fork into his face. Left with no choice, Colm obediently eats it. After he finishes the cake, Liz plunges Colm's head into a jar of honey, and that's where the story ends. Alright, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.